That concludes questions for oral answer. I call on Government Order of the Day number 1.
Crimes Match Fixing Amendment Bill, third reading.
Honourable Dr Jonathan Coleman.
Mr Speaker, I move that the Crimes Match Fixing Amendment Bill be now read a third time. This bill makes it clear that match fixing is a criminal offence in New Zealand. It's important because it protects the integrity of sport, and in particular, it protects sport from those who seek to exploit it for improper gain. It is an unfortunate fact that the risk of match fixing is growing internationally, and that risk is growing at a time when New Zealand is about to host the Cricket World Cup.
Order, and I apologise for interrupting the Minister. Members are leaving the House. There's a lot of background noise. I ask that they show respect to the member, to the Minister speaking. Honourable Dr Jonathan Coleman.
The Cricket World Cup, of course, is going to be a fantastic opportunity for New Zealand. 49 matches in 44 days across New Zealand and Australia. 7 cities in this country with the privilege to host some of those games. Great opportunity for New Zealand on a wide variety of fronts, and we certainly don't want it marred by the spectre of match fixing. The bill responds to this threat by making it clear that match fixing is a form of deception under Section 240 of the Crimes Act, the offence of obtaining a benefit or causing a loss by deception. And I'd also like to highlight the cross-party support that this bill has enjoyed so far as it's moved through the House. I think that illustrates the important place that sport holds in the hearts of all New Zealanders. Corruption is the complete antithesis to the way in which New Zealanders view sport. We love sport because of its honest content, with both teams doing their very best to win. Match fixing denies us this honest contest by predetermining aspects of the match so that betting returns can be made. If corruption were to take hold in New Zealand sport, then we would risk losing a significant part of our sporting culture, indeed our national culture, and we just cannot allow that to happen. Match fixing also allows significant sums of money to be obtained by deception. The cross-party support this bill has enjoyed also highlights the measured approach taken in the bill. The bill is quite clear in what it does. It makes it an offence for any person to obtain a benefit or cause a loss by manipulating a match with intent to influence a betting outcome. The link to betting outcomes is deliberate and has been included to avoid possible over-criminalisation. It's important that this bill does not seek to criminalise the kind of rule-breaking that sometimes occurs in sport, such as ball tampering in cricket or deliberately collapsing scrums in rugby. Whatever you might think of that type of activity, it can be dealt with on the field of play or by governing sports bodies. The bill is part of a package of initiatives designed to address match-fixing risks. The government is not progressing this bill in isolation with the hope that a criminal offence alone can safeguard the integrity of sport. Governing sports bodies have an important part to play in the fight against match fixing. Sport New Zealand has been working closely with national sports organisations since early 2013 to address the risk of match fixing and to develop a national match fixing policy. I now wish to talk about these non-legislative measures because they're crucial to protecting the integrity of New Zealand sport, Mr Speaker. The New Zealand policy on sports match fixing and related corruption was launched by Sport New Zealand in May 2014. It provides a framework for government agencies, national sports organisations and the betting industry to collaborate to prevent and address match fixing. Each of these sectors has particular responsibilities within the New Zealand match fixing policy. For national sports organisations, the match fixing policy includes a set of fundamental rules that sports organisations must have in place. These rules set out how they will prevent and respond to match fixing and will be linked to sanctions such as bans from participation in a sport for breaching the rules. National sports organisations will also be required to have education programs in place so that everyone linked with the organisation understands their part in preventing match fixing. New Zealand Rugby and New Zealand Cricket are examples of sports organisations which already have comprehensive anti-corruption regulations in place, which include match-fixing related rules. A number of other sports organisations, such as football, are well on their way to developing these regulations. The rules required by the match-fixing policy restrict players, support staff and other relevant people as appropriate from betting on any match under the jurisdiction of or connected to the national sports organisation. from failing for any money, benefit or reward, including activity associated with a betting arrangement, to perform as reasonably expected to their abilities in or withdrawing completely from any match. Also from taking action to ensure the occurrence of a particular incident or match, including activity associated with a betting arrangement, other than for legitimate tactical sporting reasons within the rules of the sport and for which any benefit is expected. The role of the criminal law and the role of national sports organisations overlap in this particular area. The match-fixing policy allows national sports organisations flexibility in precisely how they adopt the match-fixing rules. The rules may be customised according to the particular needs of the sport. Sport New Zealand is supporting sports organisations to put match-fixing rules in place by providing detailed model rules. These model rules include disciplinary processes, recommended sanctions and educational requirements. Sanctions such as lifetime bans imposed by sports organisations represent a very significant punishment and deterrent. Sport New Zealand is supporting efforts to educated players and other relevant people by providing a generic match-fixing education program online for national sports organisations and others to use. From 2016, all national sports organisations will need to comply with the match-fixing policy to be eligible for Sport New Zealand funding. As you can see, Mr Speaker, this is a very comprehensive approach to safeguarding New Zealand sports. It's why an international Interpol expert has labelled New Zealand's approach as world-leading. This bill is timely because it sends a clear message to anyone thinking about trying to corrupt New Zealand sport that they will be facing a serious criminal charge, a charge that under this bill carries a maximum penalty of 7 years in prison. The bill also ensures that the police have the powers they need to investigate instances of match-fixing. Match-fixing can be a lucrative endeavour for organised crime. It's an unfortunate fact that there's no shortage of criminals looking for an easy way to make money, and those criminals are now targeting sports matches. The International Centre for Sports Security has estimated that over $140 billion is laundered worldwide every year through sport betting. This illustrates the extent to which organised crime is seeking to exploit the sports sector. With two major sporting events on our shores from early next year, the Cricket World Cup and the FIFA Under-20 Football World Cup, this bill sends a clear message that manipulating a match for betting returns will not be tolerated. Such behaviour will not be tolerated because it denies the public an honest sporting contest. It denies us the very thing we love about sport. Kiwis should be able to watch their sports people safe in the knowledge that they are performing to the best of their ability and that the element of chance has not been removed from the spectacle. Major sporting events also bring a raft of economic, cultural and social benefits to the country. The economic, social, health and personal benefits of sport and recreation to New Zealand have been estimated at $12.2 billion per annum. These benefits are put at risk by the activities of match fixers. While there are some existing offences that may cover match fixing, this bill will put it beyond doubt that match fixing falls within the scope of deceptive conduct covered by the Crimes Act. It is therefore a very important piece of legislation. Again, I'd like to stress that this bill is part of a package of initiatives. The bill is not being passed in isolation with the hope that it alone will safeguard New Zealand sport. The work that Sport New Zealand and our national sports organisations have been doing will help to create a framework that protects sports from match fixing. This framework imposes obligations on players and other relevant people, but it also provides them with education and support. It is this framework, coupled with the bill before us today, that will help to protect New Zealand sport, which is a very vital part of our culture, from match fixing. Mr Speaker, I commend this bill to the House.
Call the Honourable Phil Goff.
Mr Speaker.